told him to make a clever and beautiful and graceful. 오늘 제가 읽을 책은 판도라의 상자라는 책입니다. 전에 첫 영상에서 읽었던 책도 그렇게 재미있는 책은 아니었지만 이 책은 훨씬 더 재미가 없어요. 그래도 재미를 위한 영상이라기보다는 자기 전에 좀 틀어놓고 들으면은 그래도 좀 더 수면 유도제 같은 영상이 될 수 있지 않을까라는 생각에 한번 찍게 되었고요. 네, 그러면 바로 읽어보도록 하겠습니다. Chapter 1. In the beginning. Of all the gods in ancient Greece, Zeus was top god. He ruled all the earth from his home on Mount Olympus. It was a beautiful world, but there were no living creatures in it, so Zeus decided to make some. He asked two other gods to help. Epimetheus made the animals and birds and insects. His brother, Prometheus, made the humans. They made them out of mud. Then they breathed life into them. Now, when Prometheus created man, he made him look like the gods, and Zeus was very angry. He wanted men to worship the gods and always depend on them. He did not want men to think he was their equal. Listen to me, Zeus warned Prometheus. You must not give men any more powers. But Prometheus did not listen to Zeus. He loved man and did not like seeing him shivering in the cold and rain. If man had fire, he would be warm, thought Prometheus, and he could cook food. Life would be so much easier for him. In the dead of night, Prometheus crept to Mount Olympus and stole fire from the gods. Then he brought it back to earth and gave it to man. When Zeus found out, he was beyond anger. I am God of all gods, he raged. Men will suffer for this, and you, Prometheus, for disobeying me, will suffer most of all. Zeus was a fierce, harsh god. When he took his revenge, that was harsh too. He chained Prometheus to a rock on a mountaintop and left him to be pecked by eagles day and night. Because gods never die, this punishment would last forever and ever. Prometheus had no hope of escape. But Zeus did not stop there. Next, he planned to teach men a lesson he would never forget. Chapter 2. The Gift. As part of his plan, Zeus decided to make the first woman. Again, he asked the other gods for help. He told them to give women many talents, to sew and cook and sing and play music. He told them to make her clever and beautiful and graceful too. And when she was finished, she was all of those things. Zeus said, I shall call her Pandora, meaning full of talents. Then he sent for Epimetheus. I have made a woman to live on earth with you, he told him, smiling through his teeth. I hope you will both be very happy. Prometheus had warned his brother never to trust Zeus. But Epimetheus did not suspect a thing. As soon as he saw Pandora, he fell in love with her. In no time, they were married. All the gods sent wedding presents. Zeus sent a large wooden chest with carvings all over it. A large label that said, Do not open, was attached to the top. What is the point of a present you cannot open? Said Pandora. Surely we could just peep inside. But Epimetheus had not forgotten what had happened to his brother. We do not want to disobey the gods, he said. He took the box and put it in a far corner of the house. Then he hid it under a cloth. Out of sight, out of mind, he told himself. Besides, Epimetheus did not need presents. He had Pandora already, who seemed so perfect she might have been a goddess. But she wasn't perfect. Zeus had made sure of that. As well as her many talents, Zeus had told the gods that woman must have one weakness, curiosity. The box may have been out of sight, but it was not out of Pandora's mind. Chapter 3. Before the box. At first, life for Epimetheus and Pandora seemed perfect. With all her many talents, Pandora was a good wife. She cleaned and sewed and prepared fine meals for Epimetheus. When he came home, she sang or played music for him. Epimetheus was completely happy, but Pandora was not. When she was alone in the house, there was often something at the back of her mind, poking and prodding her. I hope you haven't forgotten about me, a little voice would whisper. I'm still there, in a corner, waiting. Pandora tried to ignore the voice. Who cares about the stupid box? She said. She tried to tell herself she was not interested. She even tried to pretend it did not exist. But some people, when they're told they must not do something, simply have to do it. Pandora was one of those people. The harder she tried to put the box out of her mind, the more she thought about it. Soon, she could think of nothing else. Over and over again, she found herself standing right in front of it. I don't know how that happened, she'd say, surprised. Then, wisely, she'd walk away. But one day, Pandora did not walk away. She made sure she was all alone. Then she told herself, it cannot hurt to have just one little look. Pandora reached out to touch the box, but then she stopped herself. What would Epimetheus say? She asked out loud. Epimetheus does not need to know, the voice answered her. It can be your secret, Pandora. Pandora nodded. After all, she reminded herself, it is half my wedding present. She knelt down. Very gently she removed the cloth. Then a strange thing happened. Pandora could hear noises coming from the box. It sounded as if something, or lots of things, might be trapped inside, trying to get out. Chapter 4. The damage is done. Pandora knew she should not open the box, but now her curiosity had completely taken over. What was inside? What could be making those noises? Was it something alive? I'll just take a quick peep, she told herself, and then I will lock it up. Then a different voice, a sensible one, inside her head said, walk away, Pandora, leave the box alone. And she almost did. But the noises called her back. It was no use. Pandora knew she would not be able to rest until she had opened that lid. As she began to turn the key, the noises grew louder. It was as if hundreds of tiny insects were hissing in her ear. Hurry up, Pandora, don't stop now. For a moment, Pandora felt scared and almost stopped. But by now, she was bursting to find out what was inside. She lifted the lid, only a crack. Within seconds, hundreds of horrible things swarmed out like bees from a hive. There were creepy crawling things, sweaty swarming things, scary scratching things, buzzing and biting things, all flying around her head. The air was thick with them as they brushed against her face. "Ugh, get away," she shouted, waving her arms about. Pandora tried to close the lid, but it did not go back on the box. She tried to sit on it, but it sprang open and tipped her onto the floor. More and more things poured out, surrounding her. Stop, she begged. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. But things went on hissing and buzzing until the noise almost deafened her. Just when Pandora thought she could not bear any more, the things stopped buzzing and poured smoke light through the open window. Soon they were all gone out into the world, spreading their horrible powers into every corner. Chapter 5. The Last Chance. Pandora knew she had done something really, really bad, but she did not realize how bad. She did not know what kind of horrors she had released into the world. Until then, no one on earth had ever been ill, or afraid, or greedy, or jealous. No one had been unkind to anyone else. War did not exist. Until then, no one had even died. The world had been free of all those troubles. Now, Pandora had let him out. This was the punishment Zeus had created for man. Pandora could only stand and watch as the sky turned dark and heavy and a cold, cold wind blew into the room. She shivered and turned back to the box. She tried again to close the lid. Then she noticed something left in the corner, a pale, fragile thing, and it did not hiss or buzz. Instead, it whispered, "Do not leave me in here." But Pandora said, "Oh no, at least I can make sure one of you does not escape." And she almost closed the lid. "Please wait," it begged. "This is your chance to put things right. I am Hope. You must let me out too." Pandora wanted to believe that even now it was not too late, and so she did as it asked. She opened the lid wide and watched a small scrap of hope fly out. For a moment, it lit up the whole room. Then it followed the others through the open window and out into the world. A thin ray of sunshine broke through the dark cloud. Pandora stopped shivering and suddenly felt less scared. Chained to his rock, Prometheus heard the first sounds of pain and suffering across the earth. He wondered how men would deal with the horrors that were now losing the world without him there to protect them. Just then, a pale, fragile creature flew past. Prometheus saw that it was Hope. For the first time, he believed that one day Zeus might set him free. He began to think of better things to come.